Okay, so today we're going to show you how to put up a mosquito net like this one. So when you're in the village, maybe you're staying in a church or in a hut, and you need to put up your net. Sometimes you won't have hooks on the wall or even a wall to hang it on. And so what we've done here is taken our rope, and you just need a point in each corner or each side, and you can just tie it all the way across and then in the corner, and then you can either use a separate rope or like we did, we just went round our room. So you create a place that you can hang lots of nets. This can be as long as you need it to. As long as your rope is strong enough, you can tie lots of nets on it. So we're gonna put up this net here. We've got another one to add. So we're gonna line our nets up in rows. This is a really good way to save space if you're in a small room. There's a couple of things we need to make sure we do. So when we're tying, we want to make sure that our net is touching the floor like this one. Otherwise, the mosquitoes are going to come straight underneath, and what's the point in having a net? You'll also notice that some of these corners here have extra string on them. And this is really helpful if you need to tie higher up to make sure that your net touches the ground. So tying extra string on the corners before you leave for an outreach is a really good way of making sure that you're gonna have somewhere to hang your net. Another thing that we wanna be aware of is that when we're putting up our nets, that there's enough space underneath it for the person. If the net's touching you, then the mosquito could still land on the net and bite you. Our nets are treated to try and stop this happening, and when the nets have just been treated, you'll kind of feel it on your skin, and you don't really want to have that. So we suggest that you hang them up for a day before you leave on outreach if you've got newly treated nets. It's important that you don't wash the net before you go on outreach, because this is going to mean that you just wash that treatment off. But once you come home, then you want to wash it in cold water and make sure that you hang them out to dry, that you don't put them in the tumble dryer. So our nets, as you can see, have got these tie in the middle. And if you put these together, that's just going to help keep your nets closer together with your space, but it also keeps them higher off the ground. So tying them together is a good way to create more space under your net. And when you sleep under it, maybe you need to, you can put objects on the corners if you need to. So you can like pull them out and stick a water bottle or something on that corner, and that's going to keep it off you and off of your face, because you want to make sure you've got plenty of space under there, so you're not touching the outside. Another thing to be aware of when you're setting up your net is we're doing this on the carpet, but if you are in a wooden hut with like slats on the floor, mosquitoes could come up from underneath it. And so you want to make sure that you're sleeping on your mosquito net and tucking that right underneath. You're sleeping on your sleeping mat and tucking your net right underneath. Because if you don't do that, then the mosquitoes could come up through the floor. So make sure that you have a mat or some kind of cover on the floor before you sleep on it, so that you don't get bitten on your butt. And that is how you set up your nets.